Hey everyone, Doug Duncan here. In this video, I want to talk about something that sounds simple at first, but gets really important once your programs start doing more than one thing. And that's nested if statements. At first, if statements feel easy.
But once your logic starts stacking, once decisions depend on other decisions, that's where people get confused.
So today, I'm going to break this down in a very simple real-world way. So first, what exactly is a nested if statement? Honestly, it's just an if statement inside another if statement. That's it. Think of it like checkpoints. You hit the first checkpoint. If you pass it, you're allowed to go to the next one. If you don't pass the first checkpoint, you never even see the second one. That's how nested ifs work.
This means Python only checks is_admin if is_logged_in is true. If you're not logged in, that second check never even runs. That's nesting.
Nested if versus elif. Keep this simple. This is where people usually get tripped up. So let's simplify it. Use a nested if when one decision depends on another. In other words, if this is true, then check this. That's nesting. Use elif when you're choosing between options. Elif is more like, is it this? No? Okay, is it this? No? Then it must be that. Only one path should be. Grades are a great example. A, B, C, or F. You only get one.
The easy rule to remember. If your logic is going deeper, use nested if. If your logic is choosing between options, use elif. That's it. If you remember nothing else, remember that.
Why planning first matters. One of the biggest things I learned is this. Planning your conditions before you write code saves you a lot of pain. Because if you don't plan, if you just start typing if, elif, and else, a few bad things tend to happen.
You create conditions that can never be true. You repeat the same checks over and over. Your logic starts contradicting itself.
Or you end up with giant blocks of code that even you don't want to debug later. And trust me, future, you will not be happy about that. What happens when you plan first? Now compare that to planning first. Even something simple, just bullet points, just logic written in plain English. When you do that, your code is easier to read, easier to debug, easier to add on to later. Nested ifs and elif chains are powerful tools, but only when you use them on purpose, not by accident. Wrap up. So to wrap this up, nested if statements let you go deeper into logic. Elif lets you choose between options or paths. And planning your conditions first keeps your code clean, smart, and manageable. If this helped you understand nested ifs a little better, hit like, subscribe, or drop a comment, especially if this stuff used to feel confusing. And I also want to give a big shout out to the Levi Griffin School of Excellence for encouraging learning, growth, and practical understanding like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next What I Learned video. Oh wow, you stayed for the bonus content. Here's some practical application to what you learned. What's wrong with this code? This code is using nested if statements to choose between options, and that's the wrong tool for the job. Why? Once shirt color is red, Python goes inside that block. But shirt color can never be blue or green at the same time. So the inner conditions will never run. These options should be siblings, not children. This is a classic example of logic that looks structured but doesn't make sense. Nested if statements are for going deeper into logic. When you're choosing between options, elif is the cleaner, smarter choice.